Good day, madam. We are Group 8, and today we will be presenting on the topic of interventions for special education needs learners, focusing on the development of motor skills, social skills, self regulations, and sensory processing. Before we begin, let me introduce our group members and their respective roles. Myself, Rajalakshmi Balakrishnan, will cover the introduction and fine motor skills. Putri Nurul Shuwaida binti Jamil will present on gross motor skills and visual motor skills. Noor Amanina binti Muhammad Subri will discuss social skills and self-regulation. Nurul Nabila binti Zamri will explain sensory processing and conclude the presentation. Children with special education needs may experience difficulties in various development areas that can affect their learning, communication, independence, and participation in daily activities. These challenges can impact not only their academic performance, but also their social and emotional well being. Therefore, early assessment and appropriate interventions are essential to support their growth and help them achieve their full potential. Through collaboration between teachers, parents, and other professionals, special education need learners can be provided with necessary support to develop important life skills and become more independent. Throughout this presentation, we will explore several key areas of intervention, including fine motor skills, gross motor skills, visual motor skills, social skills, self-regulation, and sensory processing. We will also discuss the challenges faced by special education need learners, effective intervention strategies, and the benefits these interventions bring to overall development. I am Rajalakshmi Balakrishnan and I will begin the introduction and the topic of fine motor skills. Without further ado, let's begin. Good day, everybody. I'm Rajalakshmi Balakrishnan, and today we are talking about fine motor skills. These are the small movements we make with our hands, fingers, for an example, holding a pencil, or unbuttoning or buttoning a shirt. Now pretend you're buttoning your shirt using just two fingers. That simple action is a fine motor task. For students with special education needs, tasks like this simple can feel tricky. That's why fine motor skills are so important in both motor development and self help skills. They help kids to do things on their own and feel more confident. Now, let's talk about motor skills and self help skills. Motor skills are the movement our body makes. Gross motor skills are big muscles. Think about jumping, running, or playing sports. Fine motor skills are the small muscle movement using hands and fingers. For an example, writing neatly with a pencil or tying shoelaces. Self help skills are everyday tasks we do for ourselves, like dressing, feeding, or brushing our teeth. All of these works together. In fact, fine motor skills fit into both categories because precise hand movement help us do those daily tasks on our own. Why are fine motor skills important? First, they build independence. For an example, they let children feed themselves, button their clothes, or tie their shoes without help. Second, fine motor skills support learning and schoolwork. Think about holding a pencil to write, cutting a paper with scissors, or using a ruler. Third, they help themselves with self care, like brushing your hair or brushing your teeth. All of these successes boost children's confidence. Think about today. Some of you may have held a pencil to take notes or button your own shirt. Raise your hand if you did those things by yourself. See, those tasks rely on fine motor skills that not help everyone find easy at first. By practicing activities like writing or drawing, children gradually improve these skills and feel proud of what they can do. Some special education students face challenges with fine motor skills. They might have weaker hands, strength, poor coordination, or trouble gripping objects. Even simple tasks like writing or buttoning clothes can be very frustrating for them. The good news here is there are fun ways to help. For example, playing with a Play Doh or clay strengthens hand muscles. Threading beads or using cloth pins work on coordination. Coloring straight shapes or tracing lines help improve pencil or grip and control. Over time, these exercises lead to better coordination. As children get stronger and more skilled, they do tasks more easily and gain greater independence. Completing tasks by themselves also increases their confidence. With the right support and practice, students can turn those challenges into success.
Hi everyone, my name is Putri Rushahidah binti Jamil and today I will explain more about gross motor skill and visual motor skill. Okay, let us begin with gross motor skill. Gross motor skill involves the use of large muscle in the body, such as the legs, arms, and shoulders. These skills include activities like running, walking, balancing, and climbing stairs. Gross motor skill development is important because it helps learners maintain posture, body control, and physical coordination during classroom and outdoor activities. Gross motor skill also important because they support learners' independence in daily activities such as walking safely around the school, carrying school bags, and participating in co-curriculum activities. Without adequate gross motor development, learners may face difficulties in challenging full of both academic and social environments. Many SEN learners, such as learners with autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, Down syndrome, and cerebral palsy, experience gross motor difficulties. Some learners have weak balance and poor muscle control. In Malaysian PPKI classroom, teachers often observe learners struggling during pendidikan jasmani activities because they cannot coordinate movement properly. Some learners also avoid joining group games because they feel shy or afraid of falling. These difficulties do not only affect physical performance, but may also affect learners' self-esteem and confidence. As a result, some learners may become less willing to participate in classroom activities and social interaction with their peers. The first intervention is balance exercise. Activities such as walking on straight line or balancing bean bags can improve posture control or body coordinations. For example, teacher can use color flow tapes to create balance fight during physical education lessons. This makes the activity more engaging while helping learners improve body awareness and movement control. Teachers play important roles by guiding learners during activities, while physiotherapists help monitor physical movement and provide exercise based on learners' abilities. These activities can also increase concentration and confidence. And another effective intervention is obstacle course activities. Teachers may use cone, hoops, and mats to create simple movement stations involving crawling, hopping, and climbing. This activity improves coordination and motor planning. Obstacle course also encourage problem solving and decision making because learners need to plan how to move from one station to another safely. Jumping and hopping, such as hopscotch and trampoline jumping, also help improve length, strength, and balance. Occupational therapists may modify activities according to learners' sensory needs, while parents can continue similar physical activities at playground or parks. These games provide opportunities for sorry, This game provides opportunities for active learning while improving muscle strength, coordination, and confidence. They are especially effective because learners often view them as fun rather than therapeutic sessions. Next, I will explain about visual motor skills. Visual motor skill refer to the coordination between visual input and hand movements. These skills are important for many classroom activities such as writing, drawing, cutting, and coloring. Learners need good visual motor coordination to complete tasks accurately and independently. Visual motor skills are closely linked to academic achievement because many classroom tasks, including handwriting, drawing diagrams, and completing worksheets, require effective coordination between visual perception and hand movements. Many SEN learners practice experience hand-eye coordination difficulties. For example, learners with ASD, dyslexia, or ADHD may struggle with handwriting and copying notes from the whiteboards. In Malaysian classrooms, some learners hold pencil incorrectly, write unevenly, or color outside boundaries. These difficulties may affect academic performance and reduce learners' confidence during classroom learning. Consequently, learners may take longer to complete assignment and may require additional support from teachers. If these challenges are not addressed early, they may affect overall academic progress and classroom participation. Puzzle activities help improve concentration, visual perception, and hand-eye coordinations. Occupational therapists and intervention centers such as Permata Kurnia commonly use puzzle activities during therapy sessions. Puzzle activities also help learners develop attention span, problem skill solving, and critical thinking while improving visual processing skills. Copy sheet activities are also effective in strengthening visual tracking and pencil control. Teachers can provide tracing worksheet and dotted line activities to improve learners' writing readiness and coordinations. This activity serves as important foundation for handwriting development because learners learn to control pencil movement more accurately. Block building activities such as Lego or wooden block help learners improve spatial awareness and coordinations. These activities also encourage creative and problem-solving skills. Besides improving coordination, block building activities encourage communication and teamwork when learners work together to complete a structure. Parents can support visual motor development by providing educational toys at home while teacher guides structure play activities in the classroom. Successful intervention requires collaboration among teachers, occupational therapists, physiotherapists, and parents. When support is provided consistently across school and home environment, learners are more likely to achieve positive development outcomes. Let's move to the next person. Thank you.
Hi everyone, imagine a child who wants friends but does not know how to start a conversation. Every day, this child watches other friends, children laughing, playing and working together in class. Yet she remains alone. At school, she struggles to participate in group activity. She might misunderstand social cues. Sometimes she becomes frustrated, anxious, or overwhelmed. Over time, this loneliness not only affects friendships, but also academic performance, confidence, and emotional well-being. So, for many learners with special education needs, SAN, especially those with autism spectrum disorder and ADHD, This is their daily reality. Today I'm here. I know Amaina Muhammad Subri. I will discuss two important areas that can help this learner success, which is first social skill and self-regulation. What are social skills? We normally hear social skill. Social skill refer to the ability to communicate and interact with others in socially acceptable and meaningful ways. Okay, that is very important social skill. According to research, social skill help individuals achieve positive outcomes for themselves and the people around them positively. This skill include first, starting a conversation with others, taking turn, sharing with others, or peers or friends, understanding emotion, we speak together, non-verbal or verbal, following social rules. Okay, without this skill, learners may face difficult building friendship with people and participating successfully in school activity. Challenges faced by SIN learners. Okay, we know many children with disability, especially those with autism spectrum disorder and ADHD, experience significant challenges in social interaction. This already result by research found that these learners receive a fewer social invitation and participate in fewer peers interaction compared to typically developing children. Okay, some common difficulties include maintain eye contact, initiating conversation, and understanding emotion. When we talk, they hard to know our emotion, like happy and so on, engaging in cooperative play, and as a result, these challenges may lead to loneliness, depression, and social withdrawal. Therefore, effective intervention is needed to overcome this. First, to overcome this, we need other intervention. The first intervention is social stories. Social stories are short and structured narrative that explain social situation, expectation, and suitable behaviors. They are especially useful for learners with autism spectrum disorder because they provide clear information using simple language and visual support. For example, a social story can teach a child, okay, like this. When I want to play with a friend, I can say, "Can I play with you?" This helps children understand what to do in social situation and reduce confusion. Okay, social story can improve turn taking, sharing, initiating conversation, and following classroom rules. Okay, that's all for social stories. Second, intuition role play. The second intuition is a role play. Role playing allows learners to practice social interaction in a safe and structured environment. Okay, according to research, Riwati and Pamukas 2025, structural play activities increase social interaction scores from 41.3% to 83%. For example, students may acting as a customer and cashier, teacher and student, doctor and patient. Okay, through this repeated practice, learners gain confidence and learn how to respond suitable in common real life situation in real world. The last one, for the social skill intervention, the third intervention is cooperative group activities. The group activity we found together with the children SAN. This activity encourages learners to work together towards a common goals. One example is the trust word. We always play this at a PJ, right? It's the activity one student is blindfolded while another provide verbal instruction to guide them through obstacle course. This activity develop communication skill when they play. They always talk, right? Trust with others, cooperation with when play, body awareness. Okay. At the same time, learners at the end build friendship through meaningful interaction. So it's good for them when they do the cooperation activity in group. What is a self-regulation? Okay, we know self-regulation, but what it is? Besides social skills, learners also need self-regulation. Self-regulation refer to ability to control thought, emotional, and behavior when facing challenges or changes in the environment. Think about how we react when we are under stress or have problem with others. Sometimes we become angry, frustrated, or emotional overwhelmed. It's normal, right, for us. But learner with SAN may experience similar feeling, but they often find out more difficult to manage this emotion. Independently, there are the two difference in how they process information and respond to their environment. Okay, we understand that. So, self-regulation, intuition are needed to help them to remain calm, focused, and ready to learn in the stress environment. For intuition for self-regulation, several intuition can support self-regulation among learners with special education needs. Okay, we always hear this one. The first, the calm down corners. It's a designated space where learners can calm themselves when they feel overwhelmed, when they feel sad. So they go to that place to because it promotes emotional regulation, mindfulness, and resilience. Importantly, it is not used as punishment. Instead, it teaches learners how to recognize emotions and develop reality when it's a coping strategy when we they're alone. So they know how what feeling that they feel. Second is simple intuition is breathing exercise. One popular technique is called smell the flower, blow the candles. Children slowly inhale through their nose as they smelling a flower and exhale through their mouth as they blowing out a candles. The technique helps reduce stress, anger, and anxiety while improving emotional control. Okay. The third, for many children with SAN, uncertainty can be overwhelming, right? So we should rather provide a clear sequence of activity using picture or symbol, colorful, and at the end like that because it's a picture. When children know what will happen next, they feel more secure, prepared, and in control. Okay, research found that visual shaders improve compliance and independence among children with autism spectrum disorder. Okay, these are many good positive side. Final intuition is positive reinforcement. Have you heard about signal operant conditional theory? Okay, based that theory, positive reinforcement involve providing rewards on price immediately after desired behaviors happens. Example include verbal price like good job, sticker, gift sticker to them when they achieve something, token rewards. When learners receive positive feedback, they are more likely to repeat positive behavior and develop strong self-regulation skill. Okay, we're moving for the last step. Role parents and teacher. The important part, I think, or intuition are more effective when teacher and parent work together to improve self-regulation and social skill. Okay, at school, teachers should use simple language, friendly facial interaction, and supportive communication because the student will sharing their problem and we talk more about our thing with teachers. At home, parents should continue practice the same strategy used at school and taught more with children. Okay, research show that strong parents-teacher collaboration improves children confidence, social adaptation, and overall development. So that good, right? Okay, so the conclusion for that my part is, which is let us return to the child from the beginning of these stories or this presentation. Okay, the child who once sat alone, now the child who struggle to communicate and manage emotions with a suitable intuition, all we thought such as social story, role play, cooperative activity, calm down corner, visual schedule, reading exercise, and positive reinforcement, this child can build a friendship, regulate emotions, and participate successfully in school and society. So this child, every child deserves this opportunity not only to learn but also to belong with community. Thank you.
Hi, okay, I'm Nur Nabila binti Zambi. So now I will take over for this slide, which is about the sensory processing. Okay, what means of the sensory processing? Sensory processing is the way that the brain process for receiving and processing sensory information. Okay, such as we can see here about the sounds, touch, light, smell, and also for movement. Okay, this sensory processing have a two type of the category, which is the some of the student will feel oversensitive when receive the stimuli, but some of student under sensitivity, so they can control their feeling. Okay, so this sensory processing actually commonly happen to the student, SEN student that have the autism and ADHD. So this problem can affect their behavior and also affect their emotion, affect their communication, and also affect their learning in the class. Okay, now we go to the next slide, which is regarding the sensory sensitivities. Okay, these sensory sensitivities is happen when the student become too sensitive or less sensitive to the sensory stimulation. Okay, here I have the 5 example of the sensitivity happen to the student, which is the first student will be sensitive to the loud noise, and the second one student will be sensitive to the bright light, and also student dislike being touched, and also always on the movement, which is the student always walking in the class, jumping or running, and cannot sit properly. The last one is the student sensitive to the insect. Okay, this sensitivity will impact to the student, which is they will difficult to student to pay full attention in the class when learning, because they will be in the stage of the anxiety, angry, and uncertainty their emotion. Okay, I give you some example here, which is the autism student in the class cannot focus in the class and will be tantrum because their peer disturb or touch their things at the table. Okay, next we go to the next slide, which is the intervention strategy. Okay, to help SEN student manage sensory processing difficulty, there are several intervention strategies that can be used. Okay, which is the first one is the sensory diet. Okay, sensory diet is a help student to control their emotion and also to make their focus during the learning. Okay, here have some of the example that teacher can use in the class, which is before start the learning, teacher can make some exercise activity like stretching, jumping, singing, and dancing together with student uh, to help student calm down and focus before start the learning. Okay, now we go to the second strategy, which is we have the figured toes. Okay, these toes can help the student focus more during the learning. Okay, we have the 3 example of the toes, which is the stress ball, pop-it, and texture toes that can use during the class. Okay, for example here, ADHD student may use the pop-it while the teacher is teaching in the class. So the student will get more focus and the class can focus to the learning. Okay, here for the next slide is another strategy that can be used, which is can using a winter blanket. Winter blanket, the texture is very soft, so that can give the comfort and calm feeling to the student, especially the student will easily become anxiety or experience to the tantrum. So this blanket very help the student calm down themselves. Okay, last but not least, the last strategy that can be used is the sensory room. Okay, this sensory room is a very important actually, or is a very effective use in the school because the sensory room is the some space that's very quiet and calm space for students who they have experienced sensory that overload or have a tantrum, uh, the heart tantrum. So this room that help the student reduce the stress, control the emotion, and become calm before returning to the class again. So that's all for me about the sensory processing and the some of the strategy to help the student with have the sensory uh, processing. Okay, so here the last slide, which is the conclusion for the world of the presentation about the intervention, motor, and self skill. Okay, here motor skill, social skill, self-regulation, and sensory processing is very important to the development of the SEN student. These SEN student, they have they face the difficulties in the movement, communication, emotional control, and also sensory sensitivity, which is that can affect their learning and also their behavior. So the difficulties is very important to early intervention to the student like play-doh activity, role playing, breathing exercise, and sensory strategy, which is that can help to improve student focus and coordination, communication, and also emotional management. The last one, teacher and parents needs to play an important role to the student by providing ongoing support to help students become more confident. They become more independent and also actively engagement in their learning. So that's all the conclusion in our presentation. So here, thank you so much for the learning. And thank you so much to our lecturer, Miss Madam Hasni. Thank you so much. Bye bye.